It's the champ, Shannon the Cannon, two-time heavyweight champion of the world. And you're watching Sports Icons. Subscribe. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Champ.
Okay, so there's been like this ongoing debate as to which sanctioning body is the worst for boxing. Now, a lot of people would say the WBA, because their ranking system is quite clearly biased. Are they corrupt, incompetent? However, who knows? But they're absolute garbage. No doubt, no doubt. But what the WBA are good at is they will order their mandatories. They will fit people in and give them title shots in a timely manner. They will do that part, so we can give them a little bit of credit as far as that's concerned, albeit it's the wrong people to get them. But with the WBC, they are so bad for boxing. And Mauricio Suleiman isn't a touch on his father, isn't a touch on him. Where you've got the WBC who will just protect their fighters and just not make proper decisions. Like, they didn't allow Dillian Whyte to get a world title shot for, 3.5 years as mandatory and interim champion? Disgusting. You've got Errol Spence Jr., who fought Sean Porter for the WBC welterweight world title, 3-4 years ago? And he hasn't had a mandatory at all. You've got Jamal Charlo. He's been out of the ring for, 2 years now? They're not stripping him. They're not going to put him as champion in recess or an interim champion or whatever, because Jamal Charlo is going through some mental health issues. Hey, listen, I don't know if it's real or whether it's not, but boxing shouldn't stop because he's having a few tiffs with his love life, right? They protected Deontay Wilder for his entire reign. In the 5 years that he was champion, 2 mandatories, Bermane Stiverne and Don Brazil, neither which earned it. Tyson Fury, WBC heavyweight world champion. He's fought who? Dillian Whyte? Okay, that was a mandatory. Eventually a mandatory, which even then the WBC screwed Dillian Whyte on the purse split. But then he fought Derek Chisora, who was at the bottom of the WBC rankings. And now he's going to be fighting a Francis Ngannou who's never fought a boxing match in his life. The WBC, it's continued. This is what they do. It's absolutely mad. And Mauricio Suleiman has the audacity only a couple of weeks ago to say that the problem with boxing is money. There's too much greed in boxing, and that's what's holding up the division. The division is in boxing. But he's one of the culprits. He is, and Errol Spence Jr. pointed out a very valid point not so long ago, which was, what are you lot doing with our sanction fees? Well, we're not the WBC are doing. They're spending that kind of money on WBC annual conventions, little parties to celebrate the WBC, create loads and loads of belts, just give them away to people like the Pope, create Cinco de Mayo belts, create belts for Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte, they're probably going to create a belt for this garbage fight between Fury and Ngannou. They do it all the time. That's where your money's going. But for me, the WBC are probably the worst of the lot. And I think a lot of you will agree on that one. If not, it's probably going to be the WBA. Don't be wrong, no sanctioning body is perfect. Of course not. The WBO are very, very biased when it comes to Top Rank and Queensberry. They are. The IBF, listen, they've had their past troubles, for sure, okay, where they've been properly investigated. But nowadays, they seem a lot more down the line. Personally, I think, and I hope, that at some point, that there'll be a governing body to overrule all of them. That's what I would like. If not, just disband the whole lot of them. But in order for that to happen, fighters have to refuse to pay sanction fees, refuse to fight for their belts, all that kind of stuff. But are they going to do it? No, of course not. Of course not. Fighters, managers, promoters especially, very, very spineless when it comes to making stands. And instead they'll complain about things but not actually do much. But the WBC are by far and beyond, for me, the worst of the lot. Sanctioning body's worse as far as ranking is concerned with the WBA, no doubt. Absolutely no doubt. But the WBC overall are terrible. And if I could chop one of the 4 heads of the snake, it would be the WBC. It really would. Drop your thoughts below as to, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What other examples can you give me about the WBC and their blatant bias or their corruption? Their biases when it comes to the PBC and things like that? They need to be gone. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.